In the building right now, I got Herbalist Jamar Johnson. He's over here. He's gonna put us on game about some parasites and just help us with health parts of health that we don't normally think about. Um,
What up, what up? Jamar here. Got a little bit of a parasite joke I want to start out with. So a parasite walks into a bar. A bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." The parasite says, "Well, you're not a very good host."
That's funny.
It's a little bit of a dad joke there.
Yeah. So that's a play.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know the parasites. They need a host. So yes, today it's gonna get a little serious. We're talking about health, and it's got a few questions. Herbalist Jamar Johnson. I'll just give the title one more time. We'll just refer to him as Jamar from now on. Jamar, he's gonna show us, explain to us his knowledge that he has on parasites and stuff that you would need to just go research for yourself. Like, none of us are medical professionals. Just want to put that disclaimer there. Any advice that we give, like, even if it does sound like a solution for you, please do your own research, run it by your doctor, see if it's something that it works for you. But in most cases, we're not trying to give you any medical advice. Essentially, we're just trying to just pretty much brainstorm some knowledge and stuff that research that Jamar has discovered over his years doing this. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, you want to jump into this first question here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what kind of different bugs that can live inside the body, like worms, single-celled creatures, or tiny insects? We got a lot of stuff that lives inside of us, right?
Yeah.
A lot of bacteria, and a lot of it's beneficial. We got good bacteria, we got bad bacteria in the gut. You got, when your guts like the balance is off, then you end up with problems like SIBO, digestive issues, constipation. You can have a severe candida overgrowth, which that's just a whole other monster in and of itself. We have a candida in the body, which is a yeast, and that is also there as a benefit until it gets overgrown. And what really will help it get overgrown is heavy metals, because candida is trying to protect the body from heavy metals.
Okay, so hold on, just to be clear, there's parasites that actually are beneficial, but then can turn into like a malignant.
Not parasites, bacteria and yeast.
Candida.
And the yeast I'm talking about specifically is candida.
All right.
Billions and billions of bacteria. That's why we try to get probiotics in our diet, like yogurts, sauerkraut, and then on some of the food that we eat already has some of these beneficial bacteria on them. Like some of the vegetables that come out of the ground and the fruit, they have bacteria that live on them that eventually develop in the gut. So the bacteria will actually use the fiber that we digest as a place to home. They call it prebiotics, right? So that we chew like say we're eating some broccoli. The broccoli's got prebiotic fibers in it, and then the beneficial bacteria that's on that broccoli lives on that prebiotic fiber in the gut and actually grows and thrives on it.
Okay.
So that's some of the beneficial stuff. And then like I was saying, the candida it can be beneficial when it's balanced in the body.
All right.
If it's not balanced, it'll throw your whole system off in all sorts of terrible ways. So
There's other aspects of the body that are like that, where it's we need some things, but too much of it.
Right, yeah. And if you pull the bacteria out of the gut and check its DNA, you'd find that there's I don't know exactly how much it is, but there's a large percentage of our mass that is not even our DNA, because it's the DNA of other bacteria in our body, which helps us survive. And even mitochondria, it's a cell. I wouldn't call it a bug or a bacteria, but it's got its own DNA too. So we're made up of more than our cells, and sometimes those things that are inside of our body are also parasites, and parasites are never a good thing. They just feed off of us.
Yeah, no one likes the idea of a parasite.
Yeah.
Just another disclaimer. We will, maybe not early right now, but we will be bouncing some of our ideas and just verifying some things, or just to get have some sort of a kind of like a AI agent just to help us out with this one. So we'll be using Gemini, just to let you guys know. If you do hear us ask questions to Gemini, we just want to put that out there right now. But moving on, when we talk about parasites and people, they're in your body, you know what I mean? And there's the common ones that we do know about from just tapeworm and stuff like that. But how do like the parasites move, tend to move from body to body like so efficiently? Is it something that like we don't see them obviously?
Right.
There must be microscopic, when we look under the microscopes. But tapeworms obviously grow so large that,
you
they're
see
not
them
microscopic no more. Right?
Yeah, you see them hanging out of the butts of bears sometimes. You ever seen those videos?
Yeah.
6 feet, 10 feet of parasite coming out of the butt of a bear.
Yeah, that's
and
nasty.
some humans have that too,
Yeah. Like animals and like dogs and stuff.
So yes, and the parasites that get into us all sorts of ways. Most people are probably familiar that if you go to another country, you got to be careful with the water you drink, because the water will have protozoa in it, parasites. Also the food, right? So and when I say the food, that's when it starts calling back to the dangers of getting parasites in this country, because parasites live in food, and particularly meat. I mean, you'll get parasites in your fruits and vegetables. That's why it's important to wash them. But they'll live in meat that's not cooked all the way. Steak, chicken, salmon. I'm learning is one of the worst ones for parasites, which is
salmon.
Yeah, it's not surprising, but
yeah.
But why salmon? I don't know. Anyhow,
all the videos of salmon. I remember the videos of people pouring Coca-Cola on pork and parasites coming out. I was always just astonished by that, just to see like worms crawling out of the meat.
You actually saw the video of that?
Yeah, I've seen videos of that. I don't know if they're real or not, but I'm not sure if the pork does have parasites in it. But I've seen videos where people pour Coca-Cola on pork, and parasites come out. Would show you that Coca-Cola is one thing, which is my favorite soda.
Yeah,
and pork is one thing too. So it's like,
and pork is one of the big culprits in it. If you remember, or some of you may know, the story of when Christ encountered the demon Legion was his name, and he banished him into the pigs, and then the demon took the pigs and ran them off a cliff. And it sounds completely unrelated to parasites, and I'll go into the connection in a bit, but parasites and the scriptures there's a tale of parasites in the scriptures. It doesn't say it directly, but we'll get into that anyways. But that story was evidence that pigs carry a lot of entities in them, if you will. We'll change the word parasite to entities in this case, or cause they can be kind of demonic. We'll get into that too. But pork would be one of the worst culprits, and then salmon. Another source, this is really important for a lot of people to hear, is your pets. Your pets go outside and they poop, and they have a tendency to have parasites in their bodies. You'll know when your dog and cats don't do this as much. I think maybe I've seen a cat do this once or twice, but you'll see your dog scratching his butt on the floor, right? You ever seen that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you know your dog has parasites, and you got to deworm them. And it's good. It's a good thing to deworm your pets regularly, anyways. I think it's about every 30 days. I don't know, talk to your veterinarian about that.
Okay. I probably got a little behind on that.
Yeah, and that's pretty easy to do. They got paste pills, but so the pets, they poop outside, they walk in their poop, they step in it, or even just walking on the ground in general. There's parasites on the ground that can be tracked into your house, and then let's say you're one of those people who are like, 5-second rule. You drop the food on the ground and you pick it up in your house, and it's like,
when you have dogs, there's a no second rule.
Yeah, there is no second rule. Probably shouldn't be any rule in any situation, but that's like one of the worst.
Yeah, so I guess that makes appreciate you the answer to that question.
Yeah. Oh, but you know, people too. Sorry, you can get parasites from other people.
Other people. Okay.
Yeah, contact. And there's parasites that will
STDs
actually
and stuff.
will push you to do that. We
Like
can get
STDs?
into that too.
Is like STDs a parasite?
Yeah, that's a good one. There's
Some
one.
Some people are actually parasites.
Yeah,
like they're like just human parasites. But we talking about like the parasites in those people.
Yeah. There's if any of you know about hermeticism, we can talk about that as well. As above, so below; as within, so without. Parasites within, parasites without. But that's another story. But yeah, there's a Dr. Yaki Awakened. He's on YouTube. He talks a lot about parasites, and particularly herpes. And he's the first person I've heard say this, that herpes is a parasite, an intracellular parasite, right? That gets into the body, and it's not just there and like breaking out on your skin, but it actually
intracellular. You mean like it turns from one cell to another
or
it's able to infect different cells or something?
Well, it's got so there's some parasites that are they live inside the body, like they live in the nerve tissue or inside the muscles. They can get into the blood. They can get all sorts of places. But then there's smaller parasites that it can actually get into the cells. And the Yaki says herpes is one of those types of parasites.
Okay.
A little bit harder to get rid of. And then herpes, if we're theorizing here and just saying that Yaki is correct in saying that herpes is a parasite. Herpes is a parasite that's pretty intelligent. Well, all the parasites are pretty intelligent, right? In their own different ways. But herpes is intelligent in that it uses fat to protect itself and candida to protect itself. Okay. And the how it does that, let's say they're symbiotic. The candida will cause you to crave sugar, which is that says a lot about the intelligent potential of parasites. Okay. And even yeast and bacteria. So the candida will eat sugar and then have you eat sugar, so it develops more of itself because that's what it eats. But it's in conjunction with herpes. Herpes is using candida. So let's say herpes in a way is communicating through candida somehow. So you eat more sugar to develop more candida so herpes can protect itself. So it's hiding behind candida in a way.
Interesting.
Right?
That's interesting.
And kind of scary.
Yeah, kind of scary. So, I guess moving forward, and you were kind of hitting on it earlier, how parasites make us sick. And, you made it a biblical reference, and if we could keep it on that if you want to address it. In theory, that I guess in theory, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. You were saying that Jesus, in theory, could be referring to parasites as being the devil or causing evil on earth.
Right. Yeah, and so if you look into the scriptures, at the dietary laws specifically, there's a list of meats you shouldn't eat. It focuses more on the meats than anything out of all the things you shouldn't eat. And if you look at that list of animals that says not to eat, you'll realize that all of those things, minus the shellfish, are scavengers. All those things eat dead things. And anything that eats dead things is going to have a lot more parasites in it. Right? And the scriptures doesn't tell you why not to eat these things. It doesn't say, oh, don't eat it because of this or that. It just says don't eat it. So you got to dig a little bit deeper. And as far as the shellfish goes, they're just bottom feeders. Like they're ocean filters. They eat poop off the bottom of the ocean floor, right? Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the reasons why they said not to eat that. But as far as it being an entity, okay, so if candida can cause you to eat sugar so it can grow more of itself, and then herpes can utilize it to do that, you got to imagine that other parasites can do similar things. And there's been studies cases where they found a man, they found people acting in strange ways, and then discovered that that these people had a large amount of parasites in them. In one particular case, there was a man who he kept putting himself in danger, like walking in front of traffic, and just his risk aversion was real low. And it turns out he is full of parasites. The parasites are causing him to act a certain way, just like the parasites in the pigs pulled the pigs off the cliff, right?
Oh.
Actually, at the will of Jesus, they did that together. But so the parasites, in a way, they can be considered demonic, and there's a lot of people who look at the way the demons act in the scriptures, the way they get into a human and then cause the human to behave a certain way, right? And like if you just say, okay, instead of a demon, let's just replace that word with parasite, and it's like, okay, well, that's actually not that different, right? There are some people who theorize that parasites, and I don't want to offend anyone here in saying this, but a lot of people say that some people who are sexually deviant, or even let's say like suddenly homosexual, or they change their mind about their sexuality. The people say that these are parasites as well, especially sexual deviancy, because parasites like herpes, if you're going to stay on that's the intracellular parasite, it needs you to be sexually active so it can spread, right?
Yeah.
And then there's been proof or studies that show that some of these parasites get people to act more sexually deviant, right? And that's so they can spread themselves. That's demonic activity.
So these parasites, what I'm hearing you saying is, it's like they get in your head. They get in our head, right? Like it's not. They're not just. It's not just a like a bump, or it's not just a rash, or it's not just a symptom that's affecting it. The parasite's not actually just trying to just take out the host. The parasite has intentions to spread, has higher ambitions to spread outside the host,
right?
And spread like for parasite humanity for parasites, like parasites. It's like the goal is to spread and spread, right? Because if it fails, then the parasites fail. I mean,
right.
I don't want to be poke fun at it, but that's what it is, right? The parasites are actually trying to grow outside of the host, which they need to control something in the host's head to make that happen.
Right. And unless
it was just like a sneeze or like a virus, right?
Virus is a little different, right? But parasites, they seem, like you said, they have this ambition, right? It's when they get into a host, to try to get the host to do certain things, especially with that sexual thing, right? It's like, oh yeah, let's whatever it is, they hijack a hormone and then flood that in the body, and suddenly make the host more attractive to things that shouldn't be attracted to. Like I have an anecdotal story. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I was, and I'm still infected with parasites and working on that now. But there was a point in time where it was really bad for me, and some of the thoughts that were coming through. And luckily, I was able to like witness what was going on in my mind. A lot of people probably would struggle with this. Once their mind gets hijacked by these entities, they won't be able to see their former self. But in my situation, I was able to like look at my thoughts and be like, why am I thinking these thoughts? These are the most bizarre, out there, deranged sexual thoughts that I've ever had in my life. And it took me a while to realize that that's not me. Like otherwise, why would I think that? Like, I know that's not me. Like, that's just crazy. That's crazy thoughts right there.
Yeah.
So, and that, I have a deeper theory about the parasitical takeover of humanity where, like, okay, so if the parasites, this is my theory right here, right? Okay, so if the parasites get in the body and they eat our food, they need us to feed them, but then they can hijack the body and the mind. However they do that, whatever mechanisms they do that with, maybe it's just through hormones, but I theorize that they're actually getting into the nervous system and acquiring our intelligence as well. Like they're smart only because they have access to our brains, right? They get into the nervous system, and they can they can peer through all of our senses. Right?
Yeah.
And you not only control our behaviors, but peer through our senses and be like, okay, so this is the world I'm in now. So therefore, let me try to make this whole world, not just the body, this whole world, a place where I can thrive in.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's almost to the point where it's like, I need him to do this, so I need A to happen. Let me push his emotion. Let me make him emotional, because when he gets emotional, then at the end of the day he goes to drinking. And when he goes to drinking, then that's when I get control of what I want him to do. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or he goes to make him depressed, make her depressed, so that she goes to ice cream, and then the ice cream, whatever parasite. What do you say? What parasite does that? It feeds off the sugar.
The sugar, that's candida.
Yeast.
That's a yeast, but
yeast, okay.
The parasites love sugar too, right?
Yeah,
they love sugar. But even bigger than that, this is like a lot of stuff I'm saying is theory, but this is just something I throw around in my head as a possibility because of what I've heard from other people, that the parasites are actually creating, they're structuring society in a way for themselves. Right. And then so the evidence for that, if it was such a thing, the evidence would be the fact that the American diet, the SAD diet, is very beneficial for the growth of parasites. Right. Mm-hmm. The sugars in the food, the breakfast cereals, for instance, or the snack aisle, that's parasite rich food right there.
Yeah.
Right. So what if the parasites are getting into the human body, getting intelligence, and then becoming more of like a hive mind where they're thinking, okay, so how can we make this better for us? What if we get into the food industry, because that's what we need that from our host. Let's get into the food industry, and then let's change it to where the food that the humans are eating is beneficial to us. And we'll market these, we'll just make a whole market of candy, right? Let's make that a thing.
Yeah.
Candy's a big thing now. Oh, and then sugar, cereal, breakfast cereal. Let's just fill it full of sugar because we love that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's they're they're just in the heads of the people that are running stuff, right? So
the people don't know. The people are just let's make money. This will make money.
I love this. I love this cereal. This cereal's fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. The kids will love it if I love this cereal. Come on, more sugar, more fructose corn syrup. Well, let's do that too.
Oh yeah, the fructose corn syrup. Oh gosh, the parasites love that stuff.
Let's do that too. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I was gonna you actually kind of went there, but I was thinking at what point, and maybe not I want to say the parasites are consciously doing this. I'm not sure how old these parasites are to where they can they've been different species, and they go from species to species. I don't, but I want to say could there be a maybe a man behind this that knows the parasite? Maybe he's not infected, but the man, he has knowledge of the parasite, or a group of people that have knowledge of the parasite, and then they're purposely pushing the parasite on the people because they know what the parasite does. The parasites, it's it takes you out. You're not going to be healthy. You lose 10 years, 20 years. Your cancers are growing. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Maybe someone's using the parasites. It's they know the parasites exist, so they put all the stuff out there, all the temptation. You know what I mean? And they change laws to make things easier for the parasites to spread. And they just let man just go to the devil, if you want to say it like that, the devil himself,
Yeah.
They just open the gates for that,
Right. I mean, yeah, maybe you could attribute it to a human who knows about the parasites, right, but is not infected himself.
Not infected himself.
Uninfected himself.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to say not infected himself because it only worked that way if they were using the parasite, using the parasite. It was what would be a good alcohol, the alcohol, the people that sell cigarettes don't smoke cigarettes, or it's look at Israel, just to bring up Israel, look at their diet, then look at and I'm not trying to say Israel's using the parasite, but just for example, if you want to like an example, see if there's look at the diet of the Israeli people. You know their diet's very strict. You know, Jewish people.
Yep,
and
kosher.
then see if they own any companies that sell junk food to kids.
And
you know what I mean? And if that's the case, then that would be like an example of someone using parasites. And you know they're not because their diet's so strict. You know what I mean?
Right.
Their diet seems to be to not eat parasites.
Seems like it. It seems like it, right?
So it's like that would be an example of that.
But is the kosher diet an anti-parasitical diet?
I don't know. I don't
think
we'll
it
ask
is.
Let's ask Gemini.
They eat meat, right? It's got to be handled a certain way, but it doesn't mean any. I don't think it means I don't think they're trying to avoid parasites.
Yeah, let's ask Gemini just.
Okay.
Hey Gemini, can you help us out? We're trying to figure out if the kosher diet is actually like an anti-parasitic diet. Like, will it prevent? Is it meant to prevent its people from eating parasites?
The kosher diet does not specifically aim to prevent eating parasites, though some of its practices can reduce the risk. Just a reminder that I can't provide medical advice and that you should always
Thank you.
consult a health.
So I guess that you're right in a way, but
yeah.
So you know if they're vulnerable to parasites, then they're vulnerable for everything. So you know.
Right, and I won't
You know,
speak of that. I'm gonna say
it's like you get one parasite that it's like you kind of tainted already. You know?
Yeah, and I would lean towards them being highly susceptible to parasites, just like anyone else.
Especially the
right.
secret,
And then it almost doesn't matter,
people, right? Because they drink blood.
Yeah.
So like it's probably full of parasites, especially animal blood and stuff. Yeah, that's I don't know.
Right.
I don't know about parasites that much, but I'm assuming it's not it's not boiled or nothing or frozen.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know if it is or not, but yeah, I mean, does it matter if there's a man behind it pulling the strings who's he doesn't have parasites, or a man behind it, or woman, I guess you can say, a woman behind it, man behind it, who is full of parasites, and they're just a drone to the parasites.
Mm-hmm.
It almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Doesn't matter.
It's successful.
Yeah,
regardless of whether it's very successful. And I've heard, like, not sure how true this is either, but that a lot of these cancers in this country particularly are actually due to parasites untreated. And that when you go to the doctors and you have these ailments, it's a number of ailments that parasites are behind, the doctors, they either won't tell you, or they're just not testing for it. They just see the ailment and say, okay, this is what you have, and this is how we treat it, rather than saying, this is what you have, and this is what's causing it.
Yeah, and that does bring me to my next question: is why is it often so hard for doctors to find out someone has parasites? What is it? New test? Are they not? That's not even their goal.
That's not their goal. It's not their goal, and that might be semi-intentional. Right? They might just not look because they know it lines their pockets.
Interesting.
Right? And a lot of people will tell you, oh, America or United States, there's not a lot of parasites in this country. That's a third world issue, right? You drink the water in a third world country, that's where you get parasites from. We don't have parasite issues here. It's like, but yeah, we do. A lot of people have parasites here.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the problem, especially with the food we eat, and especially like salmon. You can see the parasites. It's all over Instagram. It's hard to hide. It's hard to hide these days. And sometimes, even things, your favorite food, you see it, then you just eat it less now.
Yeah.
But I guess just we're kind of moving through it. We're about at 30 minutes coming up. I was gonna ask, like, what's your solution for this? Do you think is there a pharmaceutical solution for this? Could there be a pharmaceutical solution, or you think this solution must be holistic? Herbalist. Being the herbalist you are, I'm assuming you're gonna,
right.
holistic. But you think this is something that big pharma could,
could they? They could, but they're not going to make a lot of money doing it. Ivermectin and fenbenzidol are great at eliminating parasites. But both of those you can get generic versions of. They're inexpensive. So if parasites are an endemic, and the pharmaceutical company expects to make a lot of money off of that, they're not going to with the drugs that are most effective because they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're really inexpensive.
So ivermectin, they would prescribe ivermectin to you?
That's a good one for parasites.
But
yeah,
you can get a doctor to prescribe it? Or it's
yeah,
hard to? But
yeah,
I mean,
if you find the right doctor and they're going to help you find parasites, they'll do the test for you. Then they would probably prescribe ivermectin, but it's just
so what's
they might not because it's inexpensive. They're not going to make a lot of money off.
Yeah, what's
of
the difference between the over-the-counter version of it and if they were to prescribe it to you?
The over-the-counter, well, there really is no over-the-counter version unless you go to another country in the U.S.
Okay.
Right? The over-the-counter version is for horses. And
And
dogs.
the difference is just it's all the same thing. The dosage, the amount.
Yeah, okay. So when you get the stuff with horses, it's in a paste mostly.
Okay.
And so the doses you can easily overdo the dose.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if you go get a prescription, they're going to give it to you in a pill, and they're going to say take 2-3 pills. Right. That's easy. Just take 2-3 pills. But for the paste, you're going to get it, and on the plunger of the paste, it shows you the weight of the horse you're giving it to. It doesn't tell you the milligrams that's in that.
Like they even made it extra hard, right?
Yeah. So, and there's some people.
It's like they did it like that on purpose. It's kind of like think about rubbing alcohol. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was going to say there's a lot of people, including myself, who take ivermectin for parasites and that use that horse paste. I don't recommend this for anybody. This is not advice, right? This is not medical advice. Don't take my advice on this at all.
All right.
But I as a guinea pig for myself, I've taken the ivermectin
So you
paste.
take it yourself.
Yeah, it's not that dangerous. The fenbenzidol, you have to watch out with because it can elevate your liver enzymes. There is a book actually. Let me pull that up. It's a protocol. Let's see if I can find that. And you can go on to the next while I look this up if you.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask about you had picked something up, some silver something.
Colloidal silver.
Yeah. And we were at a supplement store and we got that. So that seems something that's maybe safer than. It would be considered safe, right, to use?
Yeah.
Is that something people use in a combination with something, or is it just something you can use?
Yeah. Right now, I'm using it in combination with ivermectin and fenbenzidol. Fenbenzidol and ivermectin are a good combination for parasites. And then the colloidal silver helps with. Well, it can help with a lot of things, but it helps boost the immune system. It can help with parasites, bacteria, just an all-around, general, good stuff to take to help eliminate parasites.
Yeah.
Let's book here. Let's find that.
So just, I guess what I'm hearing is the world would be a way better place without parasites. It seems to be that with my calculations of just mental illness and a lot of these flip of the switch kind of sicknesses that kind of come out of nowhere, it seems to be something triggered by like a parasite or something, or some sort of something in the body that changes. And if your body is full of these parasites that are messing with your genes and turning switches in your brain, playing with your nervous system, and you find yourself anxious, worrying about some problem that wasn't a worry to you, the day before, but now I feel like the parasite is actually a problem. It's a devil. It's divorce. It's abuse. Like the parasite is alcoholism. The parasite's all the isms. The parasite is everything. If it's as widespread as if we can ever get some true scientific proof or test on it, to where annually we get tested to see if, we have these parasites in us, something like that. We can detox like you had mentioned other countries do. And this is a fact, because if you go online, you'll easily see that a lot of these people do it like they do it every 6 months. It's twice a year they'll detox and do their certain routine. It's kind of, it's the play, it's, if you're not doing it, you're not doing it right. America's a lot cleaner countries, you think, what I mean? So you would say some of these other countries with the water system and, they kind of have to do it more often, but that doesn't give us the excuse to ignore the problem, I guess.
Right, yeah. We can't pretend like, we're completely immune from parasites because we have indoor plumbing that's clean and we disinfect, right, with chlorine.
It's not perfect.
Right, it's not perfect. And we have pets. A lot of us have pets.
Yeah.
Running around, right?
Got to fix that part too.
Right.
Cat. One last thing, I always felt like I'm gonna say it. Cat women, cat ladies, y'all been controlled by cats. That's the cult right now. That's how you see it in the micro sense. The cat ladies. They get surrounded by cats. They bring in more cats, more parasites. The cat lady now brings in more cats. You know what I mean? And then now you get a whole hive of cats spreading this disease that half the world has, called schizophrenia.
Right.
You know what I mean? And anybody tries to explain it to you, they'll tell you that it comes from the cats. Oh, people eat it. It comes off the fruit. No, because the cats poop on it. It's because the cat species. So it's in the cats. And I believe you told me that it's for the parasite is to bring the rats to the cats. The parasite's meant to infect the rats, to make the rats easier for the cats to eat, right?
To spread, right? And we're talking about Toxoplasmosis gondii here, the most successful parasite on the planet.
Yeah,
and it spreads through cats.
He spreads through cats, and cat ladies spread it through the communities by creating hives, and it just creates one cat lady. And the cat lady's like, "Oh, I love cats." And they're feeding cats. They're putting cat food on the sidewalk, trying to bring in more cats. You know what I mean? And they get them neutered, but are they deworming them? Can a cat get dewormed? Can you get that?
Yeah,
parasite?
yeah. You can,
the cat can live without that parasite.
Yeah, you can deworm a cat.
So the cat. How does the cat get that parasite?
The parasite. The parasite lives in the cat's bowels, right? And the
like
cat's poop, right? The cat's poop. The mice will end up eating some of the cat feces because it's high in protein, just like your dog sometimes will eat cat poop.
Okay.
And then the parasite gets into the rat or the mouse, gets into their brain, actually controls their brain and makes the mouse like the smell of cat urine.
Oh wow!
Right.
So
it goes and hangs out where cats are at, and so the cat eats it, and then the parasite gets into the bowels of the cat again, and that's the life cycle. It creates eggs inside the bowels, poop, and then the cat poops it out, and then that's the beginning of the cycle, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and toxoplasmosis, as far as what it does to the brain, I think you're correct about that. Getting into the brain and making crazy cat ladies. Where did that term even come from? Why are they crazy?
Why are they crazy?
Why are they crazy?
The cats do it, and they make her more crazy, and I don't know. I just explained it all. But I've been thinking about it, and I look at every cat lady kind of sideways now because they are a little crazy. Go post something online about a cat lady. And it's like a mafia. They're called, the cats are God's animals or something like that. Which I mean, I agree, everything could be God's animals, but the cats are special. Like I was like, there was like, you go die and let the cat live, like some stuff like that. The cat ladies are wild.
Yeah.
I'm reading this right now, just mentioning the question. I don't know if we have an answer for it, but just having like, how you feel about if there being new science tools to, like gene editing to change the DNA to stop insects that spread parasites? I mean, like mosquitoes. Do mosquitoes spread a lot of parasites?
Mosquitoes do, like malaria.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what.
Is that the one? That's the main one.
The big one.
West Nile virus too, right?
That's a big one. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a virus.
Is that
right?
a virus? Yeah, virus.
Yeah. But animals in general carry a lot of parasites, and of course we're animals too. So
Do you think there could be some possibly? I don't know much about gene editing, but this sounds editing our genes to stop parasites. So editing our genes to not become cat ladies and not be infected by our pets.
So basically, you're asking if we can edit our genes to where if we get a parasite in us, right? Because that's unavoidable. We get the parasite, and then the parasite decides, oh, this is a hostile environment.
Yeah,
I don't want to be here.
Or the parasite's like, oh, damn, every entryway I get shut down. You know.
Right. I think a better solution, and it's accessible for everybody, is to include much more bitters in our diet. Right.
Okay.
So if you ever shopped at an Asian market, there's all this just different stuff. But there's one particular thing I bought at an Asian market. Banana. Was it a banana flower? I think it was a banana flower. Anyways, it looks like a giant flower bud. And I was like, I'm gonna try that. So I took it home. I chopped it up, and I put it in ground beef and cooked it up, and it was bitter. And then that was the first time ever in my life where I cooked a food and ate it, and it was bitter, and I liked it. I'm like, wow, that's something we don't get in the American diet, is bitter.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's fat, salt, sugar.
Yeah.
But bitters, parasites, and bad bacteria, they don't like those things. So a lot of other countries will include some bitters in their diet, or teas. Even Mom, she cooks, or she makes the tea that it's a bitter. They do that every now and then to clean the blood out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
we have to have more. Bitters. Yeah, we're trading out the bitters in our diet for more sweets and salts. We have done that. Like, what is the most bitter thing in the American diet? Parsley as a garnish. Yeah. That's the bitter. That's the closest a bitter gets to our plates these days is the garnish. I can't think of anything that's bitter.
Just 90% dark chocolate.
Garlics are good, right? You eat more garlic, eat more onion, of course more greens, stuff like that. That's probably the best approach, is to include a lot more of these bitters in our diet.
Yeah, that's
and don't be afraid, because the body, we're so used to these sweet salts and fats that when we get a bitter, we don't like it. Yeah. Well, what part of us doesn't like the bitter? Is it the parasites in us that don't like? The parents are like, don't eat that. So our taste buds are like, no, I don't like that.
It's one of those flavors that gotta grow. It grows as you eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so your palate matures. The more you eat it, the more you eat bitters, the less bitter it tastes. The more you avoid it, the more bitter it's gonna taste.
Or the more you, like, say, for anyone who's on the health journey, or just if you start out a health journey, and there's some foods that are considered health foods, the first time you eat them, you're like, I don't like that. I don't really like that taste. But then after you get accustomed to it, you realize, no, I do like it, but what you're liking is not the taste of it, but you like the nourishment of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, and then your taste buds actually adapt to that, and your taste buds tell you, yeah, that's nourishing, rather than saying, oh, that's good, that tastes good. And just your body says, oh, that's nourishing. Yeah. So the bitters would be the same thing, where you get used to it by the body craving it because it finds it nourishing. It finds a need for it, right? So the body's like, yeah, I want that because I need that, rather than I want that because it tastes good.
Yeah, it's like a positive addiction in a way, where the body's like telling you, hey, it's like when the body telling you to drink water. It's like you're not addicted to water, but this water is fire, and it tastes the best.
Yeah,
when you're thirsty.
When you're thirsty,
water tastes the best when you're thirsty. So when your body's telling you to do something, it's a lesson. You should listen, unless it's bad.
Right? Yeah.
But if your body's like, hey, those fruits look good, or that lettuce, or listen to your body. Don't just be like, oh man, the lettuce that's too expensive. Let me just go to McDonald's and get the $1 burger.
Right. Yeah, and there's two ways to listen to the body, because sometimes the body's going to tell you to do bad things, but a lot of times the body's going to tell you what it wants, right?
Yeah.
The body's going to say, hey, drink water. Hey, go to sleep. Hey, eat that salad.
So I guess the last question, I think you already addressed it. Some people, what do you think about having good worms? What do you think about good worms in the gut?
Yeah, good bacteria in the gut. And yeah,
not all bacteria is evil, right?
No, we need beneficial bacteria. Otherwise, we won't survive. The beneficial bacteria helps us digest foods and helps us get nutrients in the body. Helps us digest foods that our digestive system can't digest. Right. So we eat food that our digestive system won't eat all the way. The bacteria are like, oh yeah, I'll break that down for you even more, and they eat and they break it down a little bit more for us, and we digest it a little bit better.
You wouldn't call them like worms, or I mean, we have like
No,
good worms. Yeah,
a lot of people call them bugs,
they call 'em
right?
bugs. Huh?
Yeah, bugs, beneficial bugs. But that's where we take our probiotics. And I hear a lot about this, like eating yogurt every day, and especially the mainstream yogurt is just full of sugar. Like, just stay away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you pick up your yogurt.
Even Chobani,
You pick up your yogurt, right? You get your one little.
even Chobani though. Chobani?
Yeah, we'll just look at the sugar on it.
Yeah.
You pick up your little sugar container or your little yogurt container, and look at the sugar on it. Most of the time, the sugar is going to be 14, 15, 18 grams of sugar. That's way too much sugar for a little thing of yogurt, right?
So you just stick with the unsweetened Greek yogurt.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get the unsweetened,
You
get
add
the
fresh
Greek.
fruit or something.
Yeah, add some fruit, add some raw honey, right? But even honey can be, can feed some bad bacterias. But for the most part, raw honey is antibacterial, antifungal. So it's actually a way better than sugar.
Yeah, we can do a whole episode on honey. I'm so curious about just honey.
Yeah, we do.
Honey's
Yeah,
actually just a whole. It's just a whole another like substance. It's the way it starts and just
right. Yeah,
like you said, it's antibacterial. Man, you can see why it's like that. Cause,
it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Honey doesn't go bad. It's an amazing preservative. So
yeah. Well, I think that's good for today. Anything you want to finish off on? Any last thoughts? Anything you think we skipped?
No, that's it. Yeah, I mean, back on the probiotics, right? It's if we're going to be talking about good bugs, it's good to know what to eat. Like I was just saying, if you're going to eat yogurt, stay away from it. The stuff that has a lot of sugar in it, the sauerkrauts, basically your fruits, your vegetables, your sauerkrauts, your yogurt. All these things have a good amount of probiotics in it, and that help balance the gut out. And then do it regularly too. Try to get your probiotics in regularly.
That's good.